talking to AJ Holmes. Hi, AJ. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being willing to chat on Ministry Monday today. So before I really start talking, would you mind just kind of sharing who you are, or I should say, where you currently serve as a minister?
Sure. I am, well, I'll be light with the title. I haven't been given the title of minister. I am a minister of music.
Okay.
But I've been playing for, I got to be careful when I say that, but I've been playing since I've been 7. I'm 42 now. So I'm one of the musicians at Antioch Baptist Church, as well as New Hope Baptist Church in New Canton, Virginia. Antioch Baptist is in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay. Okay, cool. So you are a musician too, of course. What instruments do you play? I have to ask. It's a,
Um,
church music podcast.
well, I got my keyboard over here, but I
Nice.
play keyboard, piano, organ, trombone, baritone, tuba.
That's it. That many.
Yeah, it's been a while. The brass instruments have been middle school, high school, and college. I still play on occasion, but not as much as I used to.
Have you been able to play any of those brass instruments because of COVID? Have you noticed that kind of changing in your participation?
Um, no, we normally would at Antioch at the end of the year. Sometimes we would get people who played instruments, high school and older folks who ever played, and we would have like a Christmas ensemble to
Mhm.
play different songs. We
Yeah.
haven't done that in a while, but
Mhm.
that's the only time. And then sometimes if I feel like it, I would bring my trombone out and play if I had another person to play the piano and I didn't have to.
Mhm. Okay, cool. So the reason that I found you is that I have been searching YouTube for good tutorials on OBS, as that's what I'm currently using at my church for live streaming. And I came across your YouTube channel and it was so well produced. And you talk so much about something called media ministry, which is kind of where I wanted to start. So, bird's eye view, like what is media ministry?
Um, I mean, I'm a preacher's kid, so I've been in church forever.
Hmm.
So media ministry at the beginning was just the person who went and turned on the sound system. But now, because of technology, it has evolved. And like I used to like to use the term that I call right now, an e-missionary, where we digitally share God's word
Hmm.
online. Meet the days of just turning on the lights, the cameras, and the sound system are well before COVID have been um, a tool that a lot of us have not been using at all. But COVID has forced people to say, you know what, we can minister instead of sending missionaries out. We're doing the same thing, but we're sending it digitally over Zoom, over Facebook, over YouTube. And it just evolved from there.
If you don't mind me asking, what has your church been doing in light of COVID, or maybe like where you started this time last year and then now what you're doing in terms of, outreach and engagement technologically?
Well, it's a ever growing type of situation because
Hmm.
um the church where I'm at, we have an older congregation. So I jokingly they always say that I'm turning the media booth into the Starship Enterprise because I like to be on the forefront of technology. We were capable of live streaming maybe 3 years before COVID happened.
Wow, that's
And it
great.
was just one of those things that I was trying to do, and it was kind of like, hey, this isn't, we're not really that concerned about it. And it was kind of a niche thing because it was thought of, oh, this is just meant for members who don't want to come to church. It never thought, wait a minute, it's not necessarily for members of the church. We can go to the highways and hedges and minister to people who we may never meet. That was my whole thought about the whole thing. And then when COVID hit, it was like, uh, hey AJ, thank you for doing that thing that we told you we thought was silly, type of thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that, I mean, I'm not sure what your area did. I'm sure it pretty much shut down this time last year, if it's anything like what I know. Um,
I would say yes and no. My
okay.
my pastor lives right across the street, so he
Oh,
he
okay.
walks across, and then it was like he's comfortable in the sanctuary, so it was him, and I would be in the media booth running the live stream, and
Hmm.
it was pretty much just us.
Hmm.
And then slowly started adding people who were staying socially distanced, maybe 7
Hmm.
5 people or something like that. And then he wanted some music. And then it was like I would run from upstairs, come downstairs to play, go back up. And then we started adding maybe like a praise team of like maybe 3 people.
Hmm.
We have able to put people 20 feet apart. So we were going from there. So we were
Hmm.
still ministering, but then my personal push was to we can reach not just our congregation, but we can effectively reach more people. So
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. And so let's talk about effectively reaching more people. So in terms of media ministry and virtual engagement, um, what are some of the best practices that you would recommend for a church minister who, to be honest, might be new to really getting their technology and their e-missionary efforts off the ground?
start with what you got. We started originally when I started with a webcam, um, and it was just to get started. And then ultimately, everybody has what you need to get started. I mean, it's a modern smartphone can do. I have a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, I need to like right now. I got a whole bunch of cameras around me right now, and we could play around and be like, oh, you got an overhead camera, you got this camera, your computer, and all, you can do all that. But I say that doesn't matter. Start with what you got because I believe in the message is more important than the tech. And once you start giving the message and reaching people, the blessing will come to expand into other areas. We started with that webcam and then it blossomed into what we have right now. And I'm still trying to work more, not from a tech standpoint, but we can do better. It's not that we have to do better cameras and all this other stuff. No, it's like if we have the ability to do better, why not? But if you only have this, start with this.
Hmm. Hmm. And let's say you have then one step above that. Let's say maybe your pastor approved some money and he approved a line item for media ministry and you
Mhm.
have a chance to maybe get a permanent camera or something like that. What would be the next thing that someone would want to look into?
I would think I actually just came from my church doing some stuff. The first thing I would say, if you don't have a computer, I mean, I also have a degree in computer science. Most of the time, when you go into the store to get a computer, they're trying to sell you one. They won't tell you exactly what you need. So the average computer you buy from the store can't do live streaming. But um, like we got one of these. This is an A10 Mini Pro. In this little box, originally the big version of this is what we installed at our church. That was in total with all the equipment was maybe to live stream was like $4,000. You can get this that replaces all of that, and this is $600.
And
Um,
just for someone who's totally new or who's maybe listening to the audio version of this, what is that you're holding?
this is a ATEM television, ATEM mini video switcher. This little switcher will allow you to connect up to 4 different devices to it. Switch is about the size of half the size of an iPad, and you can hook internet to it, hook your phone to it as a tether, and you can live stream from this box. You can do everything from here. You can bring in sound from a microphone from your sound system. Can't we started with a camera from actually here is the camera. Here's the camera we started with was a $200 camera from Walmart that we started with, and you can pair this with all of this, and it would give you a production that can fit inside of a saddlebag. So it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to get started. But I mean, it's so much stuff that you can do. I would say that step up, start with like a Canon R800, which is a good camcorder that starts at like $200, and then granted, you need good lighting for that to work, but I mean that should be fine. And then maybe an ATEM, and then that makes it really simple. That is just press a button and then go, and that's it.
Really, like you said, like all you really need is that the Black Magic box you just showed us before, basic standard level handy cam, something that's decent quality, and then a computer to connect the two and to kind of have them communicate with each other. Is that a good assessment?
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
You really don't need a computer. You need a computer just to set where you're going to stream to.
Right.
and
Okay.
to do some advanced stuff. But
Hmm.
honestly, once you get that ATEM switcher and just say, I want to go to YouTube, I want to
Hmm.
go to Facebook, that's it. And then you just connect the sound and the camera and you just press buttons on that ATEM switcher and that's it. And you don't really need a computer unless you need to change something.
Wow, that's great. I honestly didn't know that.
Mhm.
So, in terms of then software, okay, you mentioned, of course, I want to live stream to YouTube. I want to live stream to Facebook. Is there any specific live streaming software that you recommend?
I like OBS, but if we were going down that path of the ATEM Mini,
Right.
there's no software that's needed.
Right. Okay.
It
Yeah.
just does it there. But like right now, I'm using the ATEM for us to talk right now. So it can connect to a computer and use OBS,
Hmm.
vMix, and stuff like that. It all depends on what direction you want to go. And you have the level of simplicity, like we talked about. You just hook the camera up, hit go, and you're done. Or you can do a full production if you really want to. It depends on your level of creativity and what level that you want to start at. I don't ever want to tell people like they look at my setup and they're like, "There's no way I could do that." I was like, "Neither could I." If I go back in time 4 years, I would have thought no. But you start with where you got, and then ultimately the necessity has gotten me to where I'm at, to where I knew how to do this stuff. Again, we started with a webcam. That's it. But then it was like, wait a minute, I can't see who's on the pulpit because we're 50 feet away.
Right.
Let's get another camera.
Hmm.
And then it evolved from there. So,
Hmm. Let's go kind of live streaming 202 if that's okay. I
mhm,
actually have a specific question for you myself.
okay.
So I found one of your YouTube videos about broadcasting something that's pre-recorded on OBS. And this is something that I myself am still learning about. I know that it's people have asked me how to do it. So would you mind explaining, and I understand that, some who are listening may not be able to like see anything, but would you mind briefly explaining how you would do that on OBS?
Okay. Well, let me mute my sound over here because I
Okay.
got stuff playing like crazy. But I mean, what I like OBS because yes, it can live stream,
Hmm.
but live streaming is nothing but broadcasting video live. The only difference is instead of live streaming it, I just record it. So like in OBS, if I come over here, so I can come in here inside of OBS, put my stuff in here. I can come in here and say, oh, I don't think I can loop myself into it right now, but normally you can record anything inside of here. And instead of hitting the stream button, you just hit record and it'll record it as a video. You can do whatever you want to, or somebody can send you a video and you put it in here. And for example, I can come over here. This is my setup for we live stream sports for a school. So I can come in here and this is a pre-made video that I have linked that will work the exact same way. So when I come over here, see it's playing a video. This could be anything. It's been pre-recorded and this is the production of your stream. So you can have an intro, a countdown, whatever. And once it's finished playing, it's a scene like in a movie. When this scene is over, I just go over to something else. So you just come into OBS here, you come down to the bottom, add a source, and you add a media source, call it whatever you want to, and now you point it to the video that has been recorded, that you've recorded yourself, somebody else has sent to you. You just load it in here. So let me like load a video that I just did for YouTube this morning. So this is a video that I recorded, edited, did everything. And then now it just plays right there. And when I start live streaming, people are seeing that instead of it being live. That's pretty much it.
So you can get it set up where you can have the video ready through what you just said and then hit start streaming and then they would automatically see what you have there.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. And that's such a good idea too, I think, for churches who maybe would want to do some type of maybe concert, except right now, because we're not having lots of people in the church at the same time, they could record maybe one person playing piano or one person singing by themselves with just a pianist, and then kind of put it together into a mini concert and then live stream it as if it is live. But like you said, it's just being broadcast essentially.
Yeah, my sister, I actually helped her with that at their church. That's what they do. They will record. Their main musician will send out an instrumental, and actually, I'm working on doing this at my church as well too. Recording an entire instrumental, sending that to everyone, and they just put their phone up. They're listening to the song in headphones, so it doesn't pick up an echo. They record themselves singing because it's in time. They mail it, and then somebody just edits it and makes a virtual choir out of it. I mean, we're doing the same thing. I think in about a week, I'm bringing in all our musicians at the church. We're going to record the musicians, no singers at all, send it to our praise dancers, send it to our choir, and we're going to all record each individual and then bring it together. And then we're going to play that as a pre-recorded video to our congregation, to people who are physically there, as well as our live stream.
Wow, that's awesome. And what software, if you don't mind me asking, what software are you using to put all those virtual choir pieces together? Because that's a question I often get to.
I use DaVinci Resolve. That's also made by Blackmagic, which is
Hmm.
actually completely free.
You're kidding.
Yep.
I did not know. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
looking that one
Yeah,
up.
don't get the studio version. The studio version is the one that you have to pay for.
Hmm.
But I've been using the regular DaVinci Resolve for
Hmm.
5 years, and I've never had to pay a dime for it. And I do everything on YouTube, everything in my church, all of my customers, my clients. That's what I use for everything for the last 5 years. Our sports videos, everything.
And that's so great to know too, that DaVinci Resolve and OBS, both free. I mean,
Yes.
both free. So you really, like you said, like if for some reason in a pinch someone wanted to start live streaming for Holy Week, because we're recording this during, right before Easter, they could. I mean, really, if you had a phone and a little bit of technology, a lot of the bones, if you will, are free or they're very affordable. I think some people forget that.
Yeah, like I have an iPad over here and then I have an Android. You can spend $5 for either one, and you can, I think it's called a Droid Cam, to where you can hook this up over a USB cable into your computer and it shows up like a webcam. The exact same thing for the iPad. It will cost you $5 to get started because OBS is free, everything. That's pretty much it.
That's awesome. That is so great. So the last thing I want to talk about, because I could nerd out with you for a really long time on all this.
Mhm.
But let's just say someone's listening or watching and they really do want to really dig deep into this entire media ministry, but they have a lot to learn. You offer something in particular I'd love for you to kind of share with the viewers and listeners.
Okay. Well, I have about three different avenues. What I really like to do is I believe, me personally, I have a strong belief in certain things. Um, I believe that the biggest trick all of us have been fooled into is to thinking that we're different. I have worked with Catholics, Lutheran, Protestant, Baptist, Church of God in Christ. I mean, work with everybody, and we all have the same purpose. So what I did is I made a Facebook group called Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, and anyone can join. And it's almost, we have a collection of over 2,200 media ministries from all over the world,
Oh,
and
wow.
we're all working together. So somebody could say, "Oh, I have this camera." And there's at least 300 ministries that's working with the same thing. And we're all with the same purpose of working together. I jokingly tell everybody I run that group with an iron fist with Thor's hammer Mjolnir. If you if you try to live stream in the group, you get hammered out. And we don't talk about color, creed, denomination. We're about working together. That's one avenue, which is completely free. You just have to agree to not live stream inside the group, and
Hmm.
that's it.
Hmm.
We also, I have one book that's in the works. Another one is available right now, called same name, Modern Media Ministry Made Easy: How to Let Your Message Outlive You. And it's mainly talking not from a technical standpoint. It's just more of telling ministers and pastors the importance of, this is not a replacement, it's a tool.
Hmm.
And if you don't want to use it, that's fine. Just stop saying that God is against it. That's the main thing of that book. The second book I'm working on right now is now Modern Media Ministry Made Easy is cut out, and it says is now necessary, how to minister online 2021 and beyond. And I'm still working on that. That should be released in about 2 months. Um, Both of those you can find on Amazon, Kindle. And then the last one is I have a course where I'm teaching the basics of live streaming. Go through everything from the type of computer you need to get, how to set up OBS, the concept, the mindset, the workflow, how to get everything done. And you can always go to modernmediaministry.com and register for that course. And once you pay for it, it's yours forever. I'm working at updating that because the tech has changed. But those are a bunch of avenues. And then, like I said, it's like you can always go to see me on YouTube, AJ the CEO, AJay the CEO, and I'm always doing some type of video every single day in some form of capacity for media ministry.
And your videos are great. They are
Thank you.
so well produced and well done. And I don't remember, I should have looked this up to be honest before we started talking. How many subscribers do you have? Like, I was so impressed.
As of right now, I think I'm at 37,100 and something.
Yeah. I mean,
I think like this time last year I was at 1,000.
So what a difference a year makes, huh?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to put all that information in the show notes of the episode too. So if you are listening or watching and you're interested in any of those options, I'll put everything in the show notes so you can check it out yourself too. So, AJ, I thank you so much for your time and also your passion and devotion clearly to ministry this way, because as you've kind of alluded, it's a tool but it is such an effective, I believe too, and a powerful tool that you can reach people that you wouldn't have necessarily reached before. So thank you for sharing your passion and helping us to hopefully minister the same way.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.